Welcome back to the world of Stranger Things. They just dropped the official teaser for Stranger Things Season 5 with finally some new footage, and you could literally hold your breath through it. The trailer was 2 minutes long, and get this, only 25 seconds of it was new footage from Season 5. It was literally 11 different shots of new footage. How crazy is that? Not only that, but we did get a release date as well. That's actually what they labeled the teaser as on Netflix's YouTube. And I would say that I'm disappointed, but unfortunately, this is kind of what we expected. Nonetheless, it is still really great to see new Season 5 footage because holy cow does it look insane. We get a shot of probably the grossest thing in all of the Upside Down. I'm just happy we finally got our release date, and the rumors are true. They will be releasing Season 5 in 3 separate parts. They are taking every heavy hitter holiday. They're dropping Volume 1 on Thanksgiving, and then almost 1 month later on Christmas Day, Volume 2 will drop. And then the finale couple episodes will drop 6 days later on New Year's. What a ride this is going to be. We're going to break down all of the new content from the teaser trailer and start making Season 5 theories right now. If you love Stranger Things and you're hyped for Season 5, make sure you go hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the upcoming theory videos that I've got coming out very soon. Now, as we move forward, I'm just going to give a quick spoiler warning, because there will be a lot of new Season 5 information, so buckle up and let's just jump right into this. The first shot of the trailer is one of the most satisfying things we've been asking for the last 10 years now. Will finally has a decent haircut. Would you look at that? I don't know if Joyce took a haircutting class in her spare time, or maybe Will went to an actual barbershop to get his haircut, but dang, this looks way better than every other iteration we have ever seen so far. Season 1, bad. Season 2, bad. Season 3, awful. Season 4, even worse. It took 10 years, but they finally did it, ladies and gentlemen. Now Joyce and Will are talking to each other, just catching up. It seems like they didn't really get to have one chill conversation in all of Season 4, and in Season 3, Will was very far in the backseat, so I am welcoming more Joyce and Will time with open arms. Joyce says that she thinks about that night all the time, the night that it came for Will, the night that all of it started, and by it, I think she is referring to the Mind Flayer, not Vecna. As of now, we're still pretty in the dark on the relationship between Vecna and the Mind Flayer. The most information we have is the VR game they released where you play as Henry Creel as soon as Eleven blasts him into the Upside Down, and you see him meet the Mind Flayer and get to hear the conversations they have. I feel like in Season 5, they really need to explore this on the big screen, since for the first 3 seasons, we've been dealing only with the Mind Flayer, and it seems like in Season 4, they tried to reveal that Vecna was the big bad guy that was behind it all. I mean, Joyce could be referring to what originally was a Demogorgon, and what seems to have been changed to be Vecna almost, with it being able to use telekinesis powers, as that seems to be something that only Vecna can do and not ordinary Demogorgons. But they used Joyce talking about this the night that it all started to transition into showing a 1.5-minute recap of Seasons 1 through 4 in a trailer for Season 5. Yeah. Joyce doesn't say anything else either. Will chimes in and says that everything changed and that we failed, which is most likely referring to the ending of Season 4. Yes, they defeated Vecna, but only a very small amount. The heroes lost in the end.
You have already lost.
Vecna was able to successfully make all 4 kills, enough to open the massive portal, ripping all the way through the town of Hawkins. This absolutely engulfs the town. They lost. And then Will says that they need to be ready. While originally everyone thought that even though the portal opened up that they had killed Vecna, Will was the one to confirm that he actually wasn't dead. Will could still feel him. He could actually hear his thoughts. And so Will is saying that we need to be ready for his return, because while he may be wounded, I'm sure he is taking the time to heal and return stronger than ever before, with more monsters than ever before. A whole army that we will see very soon. So after all this old footage they used as filler, we finally get to new Season 5 shots. One of Joyce in the safe house barn that we've seen all the BTS videos and photos in. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. She is wielding an axe. Joyce with an axe is back, baby. No walls stand a chance with her around. I hope we get to see her dig really deep into that crazy mother energy she has this season to defeat whatever's coming after them here. If we brighten up this image and zoom in the background, we can see standing behind her is Will on the left side, and then Erica to the right of him in purple. And I'm pretty sure above them all is the new character played by Jake Connolly. We're pretty sure this is Derek, he's a member of the Turnbow family, and this is where we saw them in the BTS video. No idea why he's suspended up there or on the loft. There is an episode called The Turnbow Trap. Is he the trap? Is he the Turnbow Trap? Are they using him as bait? And then to the right of him is Robin, which is really nice to see. And it seems to be nighttime here, so there very well may be a Demogorgon coming after them. But sometimes they build up these situations and then a friendly character walks in like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" as a gag. But cut to the next scene and you see the barn door is literally flexing inwards with the banging. And the banging continues on through the trailer, and in the end we see what is knocking on their door. The next shot is Karen and Holly Wheeler holding each other as the banging continues, but this time there seems to be light flashing underneath the door they're behind along with the banging. Now this is our first official footage with the new Holly Wheeler. They've posted a couple behind the scenes videos of her, but this is our actual first season 5 footage seeing Nell Fisher as the new Holly Wheeler. She will be replacing the twins that have played Holly for the last 10 years. Not necessarily why you think though. I thought that like the rest of the cast, it was an age thing, where they needed her to appear younger than the twins are because the show takes so long to come out. But they're all the same age. Nell Fisher seems to have more experience, with a couple movies behind her now, to step into the Stranger Things spotlight. It seems like already from the BTS and this that Holly Wheeler will have a much more substantial role this season, kind of like how Erica became part of the gang back in season 3. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good for her already. I mean, they look absolutely mortified in this shot. Karen is borderline crying and Holly looks scared for her life too. Now, next we get an updated shot of Lucas and Max in the hospital. This is great news. I mean, this is a new room from where we saw her last in season 4, but we have seen pictures of this set from the BTS posts and whatnot. You can see that Max is still alive and there is hope, and we can see that her casts are gone. Her physical body somehow survived and is somewhat healed, and it's just her mind that is lost. I have a lot of good theory videos on that. Definitely go watch those as a refresher, and there's actually more conversations between Eleven and Max in Max's mind that's not in the show that happens before Max is lost for good. Surprisingly enough, the VR game once again gives us more content to fill in the gaps of the show, and this time it gives Max's final send-off, her goodbye, the last anyone sees of her before her body becomes empty like we see it here. That game blew my mind. Definitely put that video on your watch list too if you haven't seen it yet. On the wall in the background, if we zoom and enhance, we can see the drawing Max did of her and Lucas on their date at the movies. This lighting is very ominous though. I'm a little worried here. I hope Max's body will be okay while Hawkins is going crazy with monsters from the Upside Down, and fingers crossed her family doesn't go into debt with this huge hospital bill that's racking up. Now, next is our very first shot of the Upside Down. And would you look at that? We finally get more Dustin and Steve time. I'm so excited for this. This looks eerily enough like the tiled floors of Hawkins' lab. Not exactly, but pretty dang close. And we can see that Steve is wearing this beautiful sweater we've seen him in the behind the scenes pics. And Dustin, look at his face. It's all bloodied and beaten up still. This is from the jocks that rough him up when he's visiting Eddie's grave like we saw in the BTS video. He's wearing that sick trench coat and the radio station shirt, and then in his hand is the transmitter, most likely to the radio tower, and it's got such a big signal that they're actually able to communicate while they're in the Upside Down. Now in this shot, they're looking upwards, and there's no red light above, which probably means no portal. Usually if they're looking up and you see red, that's a good indicator of a portal nearby. Here, it doesn't seem to be that, which makes it hard to guess what they're staring at, especially if they're indoors. They're not outside staring at the mind flare or the crazy lightning. What's really interesting though is that all the vines we see around them are very thin. Most Upside Down vines are very intentionally girthy. These are unlike what you would normally find, so I wonder if this is something they did on purpose for a specific reason. Whether it's just because they're indoors and away from the outside part of the Upside Down, or maybe it's signifying wherever they are is somewhat of a safe place or near the ends of where the vines reach. But I mean, they're completely surrounded, so grain of salt. Moving on to our very first shot of Eleven, and a very rare shot of Hopper. Even in all the behind the scenes images and videos, we've gotten the least teasers for Hopper, so it's really nice to see his final on-screen look with the full-grown beard. This is also our first look at Eleven with long hair. Seems like she's had enough time to grow it all the way back out since season 4. It looks like she is overstimulated here. This has got to be Vecna in her head or something big. She's wearing the same outfit we've seen her in a couple other shots with the bandana around her neck. I thought at first glance that this would be in the basement of the radio station, but the ceiling seems a bit taller and more industrial. It almost looks like they're outside, maybe Hawkins' lab or the military base, and the red lights are on the outside of a building, but they just released a new teaser image of Eleven and Hopper in the same location as this shot, showing that they are inside somewhere. It looks like maybe the same place that the two BTS clips were as well. It looks like they're on a mission. It seems like this new military personnel, Alex Bro, will be Hopper's new nemesis for this season, and interestingly enough, Bro is actually currently on Broadway in the Stranger Things first shadow as young Dr. Brenner. No correlation between the two characters, but it's still really cool. It seems like Hopper and Elle will be going through this building, and the military too, to go into the Upside Down. Yeah, this gross, nasty Upside Down thing. Hopper and Eleven are down there staring at it. If you zoom in and brighten it up, you can obviously see this is Hopper and this is Eleven. And the one behind the scene shot we got of Hopper looked like he was in a hunting blind or something similar in the Upside Down, and this takes place on the way to wherever this is. Now, most likely, believe it or not, this is probably the edge of the Upside Down, which means this is the biggest piece of information they gave us in the trailer. This is new Upside Down lore, because if you remember when Will was taken into the Upside Down, a snapshot of Hawkins was created around Will. That's why the Upside Down is stuck in time like we saw in Season 4. It hasn't moved a day since Will was there. For some reason, him being there made the Upside Down look like Hawkins, but we've seen elsewhere that this dimension didn't always look like Hawkins, or that there might be more to it than just that. And if you remember, the Russians in Season 3 weren't able to access the Upside Down from Russia, and that's why they had to come to Hawkins to access it, because it's not a snapshot of the entire world, just of Hawkins. And it seems like here, Hopper and Elle have traveled to the very edge of the snapshot. This fleshy wall must be the farthest reach that the Upside Down stretches. This is so crazy. It's either that or the giant eye means there's a boss fight right beyond this wall, and everyone's cooked. Either way, I am so overly excited for the new Upside Down lore, I cannot wait to see what they're doing here. I might have to make a video on just this. Maybe they're going to try to go outside the confines to go look for Vecna. Now, as crazy as this scene is, the next one has almost more to unpack. This is a shot of Mike protecting some kids in what looks to be a parking lot. At least that's what it looks like at first glance. Now, first off, I love that Mike is doing what Steve would do here and didn't hesitate to protect those younger than him. I feel like he's really going to step into that leadership role this season. Now, behind him, we can see Derek Turnbow, we think, along with a lot of other kids around the same age. All of them around the same age as Mike's sister Holly. And we have one episode that we're pretty sure is titled The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler, and with that shot of her terrified in her room with the lights flickering, it's safe to say that Vecna himself will be coming after her. And if he's coming after Holly, maybe he's coming after all the other kids around the same age. Now, if we look behind them, we can see that Will is slumped over in the back. It almost feels like Eleven after she uses her powers and then she just passes out. I wonder if Will is using his powers and pushing his connection to Vecna and the hive mind to maybe do more than just listen. I mean, Joyce is literally holding him up and he's so much bigger than her at this point, she's gotta be using that super mom strength. Now, another really interesting thing in this shot is look on the ground behind them. That's a dummy. That's a dummy dressed up in a military uniform. Arms don't bend like that. It's leaning to one side very unnaturally. We've seen this before. Ross Duffer actually posted this picture to Instagram a while ago, and we originally thought it was just a background stand-in prop for lighting or dead military personnel or some other reference, but it looks like they're actually using the dummies in the show? It looks like this scene is taking place on the military base. Maybe they're using these dummies to lure the monsters away from people into a trap or something. There's a lot of carnage in the background too, maybe some more bodies on the ground, or dummies I guess. Definitely intriguing. I can't wait to see what this is for. Because next is the actual military. We get a close-up shot of one of the panels on the ground getting pushed upward as red light peeks through, and then a wider shot showing us a lot more military surrounding the area where it's happening again. You can actually see someone's fallen over to the ground right here, and it's not just one spot that it's happening. All the men closest to the camera are watching this tile here, but everyone behind them is pointed at a different spot on the ground. This is happening everywhere. This banging, this knocking, and I think this is literally Vecna and his army about to break through the portal and launch a full invasion on the town of Hawkins. This set looks awfully similar to this BTS shot Ross posted a while back, or this actually might be somewhere else in the town, since the same thing is happening everywhere, I guess. I really hope we get some insane, large-scale Demogorgon fights this season. I want to see a horde ripping down all the military. I want a bloodbath. Last time we saw one Demogorgon fighting at full potential, now give us 100. We know you have the budget for it. We get a third shot of the panels being knocked upwards, and if you look closely, in each of these shots, you can see these clamps coming off the ground when they're being pushed out, and underneath this panel is pure portal. Just red hell. Go straight to the Upside Down. I wonder if the military built their base in the center of town, literally on top of the portal, like a bridge to cover it up and physically hide it from the rest of the world, or Or I wonder if it's just been growing, spreading, and getting bigger. That would be really interesting. I hope they don't skip over everything with the time jump. And then to end the trailer, on the biggest possible bang they could, we get this intense shot of Will. What he sees has to be the most terrifying thing he's ever seen before to warrant that scream. And also, shout out to Noah Schnapp for this one scene of acting. This is intense. This is a completely different side of Will, the mature Will, that we've never seen before, and I'm really excited to see more of this. It's reminding me of how much trauma Caleb was able to give Lucas's face when Max was getting killed off. I'm genuinely so worried for all of our characters this season. But this trailer has given me a lot of ideas for theories and fun videos on Season 5, so make sure you're subscribed. Tell me in the comments your favorite shot from the teaser and send this video to all your Stranger Things friends. And I will see you soon in the next one. Peace.